Greetings, I'm Jason and welcome to my comic book reviews. This week I've got 11 books to review. 6 of those are DC and 5 are Marvel. We're going to kick things off with a book from DC Comics that came out about a month ago. All the rest of the books came out this week. But first we're going to start off with a book that came out about a month ago that I was kind of tempted to pick up, but it's a character I have no history with. So I was in two minds, but I love the artist on the book, so I was kind of in two minds. But I saw Sleepy Reader 666. He reviewed this book, and it gave me that little push that I needed to get it. So yeah, first up we're going to review Grayson issue number 1, and I'm glad that I weakened and picked this one up because I really enjoyed it. The story follows Dick Grayson, who's now presumed dead, and he's working for this spy group called Spiral. And we kick off the story, we get to see introduced to Dick Grayson, who he is, what his skills are. I really liked the character here. Having no history with the character, I instantly took to the character the way he's written here. He's a bit cocky, he's a bit of a show-off, but that showmanship comes with being in the circus. That's kind of, you get that he's got that showmanship from working in the circus for his childhood. But then at the same time, he's a good man who you can tell has this incredible sense of right and wrong, and will always try and do the right thing. And he really endears him to you, and you instantly kind of take to him because he's confident, but it's not like, sometimes you can have it a bit too much. But he's just got the right level that he's likable. His partner in this is a character called Helen Bertarelli, who I'm convinced is the Huntress. But I thought the New 52 already had a Huntress. But hey, hopefully we'll find out more about her as time goes on. The way we get introduced to Grayson here is a great way to showcase him and his abilities, and also to find out a bit more about Spiral. We then get to see Midnighter gets a cameo, which I thought was really cool, and I like the way that Grayson beat him, because usually you would think Dick Grayson wouldn't be able to beat the Midnighter, but I like the way they did it, and it gave it a bit of an out why that would work. And you know, the story as it goes on, it really engaged me, and I'm really intrigued to find out more. It did feel a bit of a gripe that I had, was I did feel like I'd missed something, but I'm hoping that's just because it's the first issue and they're going to tell us more as it goes on. I'm hoping it doesn't mean that stuff happened in the last issue of Nightwing that I need to read, because this is a number 1. I shouldn't need to be going to other books. This should be giving me the information. So I'm hoping it's just the fact that it's the first issue, I'm going to learn more as it goes on, not that I've missed stuff. The art, as I said, is just brilliant, as I'd expect from Mikhail Yanin. It is just gorgeous all the way through, and the last page just really grabbed me, wanted to see what happens next for the next issue. This has got me hooked. So yeah, I'm looking forward to issue 2. I think this comes out this week, so I'm looking forward to that. But I really enjoyed issue 1 of Grayson, and I give Grayson issue number 1 5 stars out of 5. So moving on now, staying with the Bat family, but moving on to this week's books, we have Batman Detective Comics Annual number 3. This was a really nicely written book because it works on 2 levels. It works on the level of being like a prequel to Batman Detective Comics, to Manapul and Bucciolado's run on the book, but it also works as a standalone story, and the way they've managed that is just fantastic. We follow Batman, and we get to see pretty much every side of Batman as he's trying to stop this group called the Bastards of Blackgate from selling these guns and selling these weapons and these drugs, and he's trying to stop them. And I really liked Batman here and the different sides we get to see of him, and the other little bits of story that are sprinkled in here work really well. And yeah, all in all, I really enjoyed this book. It was a lot of fun. We have 3 artists, but the way that they're managed, I think it works quite well, because it didn't really take away at any point away from the story. So I think that worked really well. And like I say, it's a nice self-contained story, but that can act as a prequel, and just to have that two different kind of ways the story works, I think is brilliant. And all in all, I found myself surprisingly enjoying this, because for me, annuals are often hit or miss, and I'm really glad that this one was a hit. And I give Batman Detective Comics Annual issue number 3 5 stars out of 5. So sticking with the annuals, we have Aquaman annual number 2 next, and this one was a miss. I was very disappointed with this. I liked the setup and I was really looking forward to this annual, but I just felt this issue, it just lacked something. It just lacked some kind of oomph. I felt they overcame the monsters much too easily, which I didn't like. The story was very much formulaic, if you will, in that it followed a simple formula, and there wasn't much there to really give it any kind of pizzazz or make it as interesting as it should have been. I did like the first page that kind of fills you in on what's been happening so you can follow the story, and I like the fact that the book was split, so that the first part of the story we get Aquaman and Wonder Woman teaming up, and the second part we get Mira and Wonder Woman teaming up, because I really like Mira as a character, so I really like that she got her own kind of little bit of a showcase in this. But yeah, there were good stuff, but overall I felt a bit of that big tang of disappointment, and I'd give Aquaman annual issue number 2 3 stars out of 5. Next up we have a original sin tie-in, as we have Hulk vs Iron Man issue number 3, first Marvel book this week to be reviewed, and I really enjoyed this. I felt Bagley's art was the best I've seen for a while, and the art, I really enjoyed that. The story itself, Bruce Banner has found out that Iron Man tampered with the gamma bomb and was responsible for him becoming the Hulk. He's now used the extremis to make it so that he could become the Hulk but retain Banner's intelligence, and he's going to track down Iron Man to get his revenge. He's obsessed with getting Iron Man. Meanwhile, Iron Man is convinced that there's something else he's not remembering that's going to exonerate him of all this, that's going to prove that he didn't do it, that he, what he didn't make the Hulk. So his whole quest, the whole issue, is to try and avoid the Hulk long enough so that he can get this evidence. And by the end of the issue, the last page, when we get this big revelation, which we the reader don't know yet, but it's like you're thinking, oh my god, I want to know what happens next. I thought this book was really good. You do get some Hulk versus Iron Man, but it's not the whole issue, one big fight. There's more story going on, and I've really enjoyed what they've done here, and I thought this was a really good issue. And I give Hulk versus Iron Man issue number 3 5 stars out of 5. So next up we have Justice League issue number 32. Lex Luthor isn't a member of the Justice League yet. The main bulk of the story follows the Doom Patrol, and I like we pick up this thread with Elemental Woman, or is it Element Woman? I'm not sure which, but she kind of, we haven't really seen her or Firestorm since the whole Forever Evil thing. They've kind of been kicked to the curb, if you will. So this one we get to follow what's happened to Elemental Woman, and we meet the Doom Patrol and the Chief. And I really like the Doom Patrol. They seem an interesting group. Like I say, my history isn't that much with DC, so a lot of these characters are new. So I haven't got like the baggage of, well, they used to be like this. I've just got the I'm just looking at these guys as new characters, and I really like this group. I thought they were an interesting group. They go to engage Power Ring to stop Power Ring, and they have the choice: do they go for Power Ring or do they save these people in this burning building? The Justice League show up, and that choice is taken out of their hands. There's a great moment where Cyborg kind of links up with Power Ring, and we learn a lot more, not just about the holder of the ring, not just about Jessica Cruz, the human host, but we also get to learn a little bit more about Power Ring and how they came to be. So yeah, I really like that. They're laying things on levels. The end, the last page was just awesome. The art here by Doug Mackey is just outstanding. One of my favourite bits is this bit here where we get to, inside the Power Ring, we get to learn a lot more about who Power Ring is. But yeah, the art here I just thought was outstanding. Doug Mackey does a fine job on the art wise, and Justice League has just become a really consistent book. It used to be a book that you'd have a good issue, then it'd be not so good, and it was up and down. But since the end of Forever Evil, this book has just been consistently great. and I give Justice League issue number 32 5 stars out of 5. So next up we have another Marvel book, and this book is my pick of the week. It is Hawkeye issue number 19, and way back when this book was coming out regularly, it was regularly getting pick of the week. It was just a fantastically consistent book, and it's great that after so long of not having it, that it returns, and not only does it return, but it returns as strong as ever. I thought a lot of things kind of moved forward in this issue that hadn't, where the book for a while hadn't felt like it was moving forward, it was stuck in place. But we get a lot of things gearing up as the Bros, that tracksuit mafia, are getting ready to kind of take down Hawkeye once and for all. Clint is dealing with being deaf and with basically getting his ass kicked and not being able to do what he wanted to do, and that was to defend these people. And you know, it's a great journey he goes on in this issue, and also it's really cool. Barney, his brother, who is a character I've never really read that much of, but I like the way that they have that brother relationship here. All in all, again, this is just an exceptional book. I like the sign language bits as well. I thought that was a clever kind of addition to the book. And yeah, all in all, this was just a great dose of fun. And you know, it definitely leaves you eager for more and reminds you why we all rave so much about this book and why we love this book so much. So yeah, my pick of the week this week is Hawkeye issue number 19. So returning over to DC now, we have the New 52 Futures End issue number 13. Their weekly book, and this was a fantastic issue. I really enjoyed this. Sometimes with these weekly books, I find we're concentrating on a bit of story that I'm not really into, and I won't enjoy it as much. But then you'll have a week like this where all the stories, even the ones I wasn't that interested in, were all really good, and the story really feels like it's moving forward, and they're telling us a lot. We first up, we get to see our Tim Drake, who's disguised as Cal, and is pretending not to be Tim Drake because Tim Drake's dead. His girlfriend gets mugged, and they take the only piece of jewelry, and we then have him getting his Red Robin on and getting that back. We also have some interesting stuff on Cadmus Island, and that story is beginning to really intrigue me now. We also have some cool developments with our Batman from the future. I thought that was really cool. With Mr. Terrific, I thought for the first time this series has started, for the first time they actually made him a character that wasn't a dick, that you actually kind of start to feel a bit for him. So I like what they did with Mr. Terrific here in this issue. And yeah, and then we join up with Ibiko and Barda, and there's a really nice cool ending piece. Yeah, this all in all, this was just a damn fine issue, and I give Futures End issue number 13 5 stars out of 5. So now jumping over to DC's other weekly, it is Batman Eternal issue number 17, and unfortunately I'm still not feeling this one. This issue I thought was all kinds of bad. The Arkham stuff just didn't seem to move forward. We got this origin of Deacon Blackfire, and so we got that, but that meant that we kept getting these scenes of Batwing and Jim Corrigan, kind of their story moving forward really slow so they could tell the origin. We then get like Alfred and his daughter, who I just so want to bitch slap his daughter. The way she keeps going, putting down her father, and just the way, by now, how is Alfred not kicked out of the house? I don't know how many issues it's been now since we were introduced to her, but all she's done since we've met her is just bitch about her father, and I'm just like, somebody needs to sort this girl out, because, you know, okay, you disagree with his choice of career, but it's his life, it's his choice. You've had your say now, no need to keep droning on about it, you know. God, if you know, Alfred really has patience here, because that girl is just getting on my nerves. We don't really get no Batman in this one. We more get some flashbacks with Deacon Blackfire, whose origin, there were bits that worked, but overall, yeah, I didn't quite get the whole origin stuff. But there is one really cool line that Batman comes out with when he goes, I don't want worshippers, I just want justice. I thought that was a really cool line, and I did like the stuff in Hong Kong with Red Robin and Harper Row. That's still really interesting. But all in all, a lot of this issue was just really bad, and I didn't enjoy it. And I think overall, I would give this book, I think I would give this book, Batman Eternal, issue number 17. I think I would go and give it 2 stars out of 5, because I think there's more bad than good. Moving over to Marvel now for my final 3 books, and we have Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 17. Big week for them this week. Their film's out, and which I saw and was fantastic. I love that movie. It's replaced Avengers as my favourite Marvel movie. It was just brilliant. It made me laugh, it made me cry. It was brilliant. I never thought in all my life a tree would make me cry, but hey, you live and learn. But I was a bit disappointed with this. It's such a big week for Guardians of the Galaxy, and this book's been so good, telling this story of how the team's been split up and all these different people that they've pissed off. I've kind of got them, but they've all concentrating on getting one each. So I thought that had worked really well, and the story had raised the peril, and it was really good, and I was really involved in the story. But it was kind of like this issue they remembered, oh shit, we've got to finish this story this issue because we've got the original Sin tie-in next issue. And so yeah, it all felt a bit rushed, the story did, and some parts of it felt a bit too convenient, where they got back together with different people. I thought they got that seemed a bit too convenient. I did like the way that Star-Lord and Captain Marvel got off of their predicament. I thought that was good. I was disappointed we didn't get to see more of a battle between Drax and the Gladiator. I was looking forward to that, and that was a bit of a letdown. The art at the beginning of the book by Nick Bradshaw is really good, but the second artist is so different that it really affected my reading of the book, because it was just so abrupt, this change, and you're like, oh wow, that's different, and not different in a good way. But like I said, there was some good stuff. It just felt this was the weakest issue we've had for a while, because they've been doing really good, and it just felt that this was all a bit rushed, and it's just a shame. I'm probably Guardians of the Galaxy, sorry, on their biggest week of the year, where you might get more eyes on their product, on their book, than ever before, that they have probably the weakest issue that they've had for a while. But yeah, still really enjoying this book, still really into it, but like I said, this was disappointing, and give Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 17 3 stars out of 5. So moving on now to Uncanny X-Men issue number 24. This is part 2 of their original Sin kind of tie-in. Last issue we kind of learnt that Professor Xavier's will is to be read, and that they need all these different people there who aren't getting on so much now. So then the first half of the issue is the X-Men kind of going to get Cyclops to bring him. I liked the wrinkle that Beast knew all along where Cyclops was. I thought that was cool. I also like the wrinkle that the X-Men, they don't really want him there, and Cyclops doesn't want to be there, but legally they've all got to be there. So I liked that added wrinkle in there. I thought that was cool. And once we got into the meat and bones of the thing, I liked it, you know, and we started to get the will being read. That was really cool, and it did live up to its billing. Also, this new character, I think his name is Matthew, he seems interesting, and I'm wondering if he's the dark secret that the will talks about. So that's going to be interesting to find out more about him. But I just think the way that we've just suddenly seen him, and the way he started having problems a year ago, I'm just wondering if this is all linked. So yeah, so I enjoyed this. I did feel it took too long to get to the reading. I thought we should have got there quicker, because they'd set up, that was the thing they'd set up last time, and it was disappointing we got to that so late in the issue. But all in all, this was a good issue, and I've really been enjoying Uncanny X-Men lately. The students, when they first came into it, I wasn't really feeling them, but I've really grown to like and care about them all now, and I'm really enjoying this book. And I give Uncanny X-Men issue number 24 4 stars out of 5. So finally this week we have Uncanny Avengers issue number 22, the finale of Avenge the Earth. And the thing with Rick Remender is, whenever you think with him, yeah, we're going to go this way, he'll go a different way and give you something totally different, awesome, but totally different to what you're expecting. The story here I thought was really good. The art, once again, by Acuna. Where is he? Daniel Acuna. I thought his artwork again was exceptional. He not only does the inks, the pencils, but you know, he does everything basically. The colours as well. He does all of it. Here I love this bit. This is where Immortus shows up with his Infinity Watch to help out our heroes. But yeah, the art throughout this book is really good. We have the one battle going on in space as Kang is trying to absorb the energy of the Celestial so that he'll become like a god, and Havoc and Sunfire have to stop him. Meanwhile, we have Kang's forces on Earth battling it out with our heroes. But yeah, this was really great. I loved the thing with Remender is that you always feel when you have a big event like this or a big story that there are consequences, and you know you're going to see the consequences in some of these characters for a while. It's going to be interesting what they're going to do with the memories, whether the memories are going to remember all what happened or whether the bits are going to fade. But yeah, I'm really satisfied with this conclusion. Remender, just a great writer. Art was just great. And I felt like I liked the way that they dealt with Kang. I'm trying to find the bit. Because like, so too often they kill villains. Here's a bit more of the art, which I just really in love with the way Acuna draws and colours a book. It's just awesome. But the story, like I was saying, I really liked it. Havoc really steps up to being the leader here and being a bigger hero than he was at the beginning. So I really like his journey, and it's really getting interesting. We're going to have hopefully a little bit of a lull before we jump into our next story. But yeah, this book has been brilliant. And I found it a very satisfying conclusion. I like the fact that we didn't kill our main character off, and that they're kind of there to be picked up with later on. But yeah, this book I really enjoyed, and I would give Uncanny Avengers issue number 22 5 stars out of 5. So that's me done for another week. Thank you very much for watching my reviews. Fingers crossed I should be back next Wednesday with a whole video. If at some point I have time, I will try and do another video, and maybe a Marvel Ultimate Graphic Novel collection review, maybe a random comic book thoughts. We'll see what the future holds. But all in all, yeah, it was overall a good week. There's some books were disappointing, but overall I think it was a good week. Like I say, I will be back next week with my haul video for sure. Thank you very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you to everybody that's been leaving comments on my videos as well. I greatly appreciate that. I've been Jason. This has been my comic book reviews. Bye for now.